The Hamas attack on Israel was an inside job by the globalist elite, working in tandem with the Biden regime and the Israeli government, as part of the Great Master Plan for World War III, which has been in the works since the State of Israel was created after World War II. According to an insider, the terrorists were funded and armed by the Biden regime in the build-up to the attack, and Israeli defense and intelligence services agreed to stand down and look the other way when the attack was launched. According to the official, the Israeli false flag will light the fuse to ignite a holy war that will spiral out of control and lay the groundwork for the elite to usher in a one-world government and a one-world religion. But there's just one problem for the globalist elite and their plans to enslave the human race. Their plans rely on the people of the world remaining ignorant, and we're not going to let that happen. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join us in our mission, support the channel, and gain access to uncensored content. Every year, Israel receives billions of dollars in US military aid, and they recently installed a new David Sling interceptor to supplement several other already active and high-tech defense systems: Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow 2, and Arrow 3.
David Sling, Israel's newest anti-missile air defense system, successfully shot down its first rocket operationally during a barrage from the Gaza Strip, targeting Israeli civilian centers on Wednesday. It supplements the missile defense provided by the Iron Dome, Arrow 2, and Arrow 3. The system was developed by Haifa-based Rafael Advanced Defensive Systems and U.S. defense giant Raytheon Technologies. It became operational in April 2017 and can intercept missiles fired by countries such as Iran and Syria, including large-caliber rockets, short-range ballistic missiles, and other developing threats, the Israel Air Force said. Its projectiles, known as Stunners, are two-stage missiles that use multiple sensors. They are launched in a near-vertical orientation from a stationary location that can defend the entire country.
No expense was spared installing the latest and greatest military hardware in their skies. And yet we're expected to believe that these high-tech defense systems couldn't protect against motorized paragliders. Israel also upgraded and bolstered their border wall with advanced technologies and sensors, calling it the Iron Wall. The Israelis have the most advanced and invasive surveillance system in the world. There are sensors literally everywhere, even deep in the ground so that Palestinians can't build tunnels. The Israelis literally boasted that a cockroach can't get access to the border without the military knowing.
We believe that the electronic solution has far more advantages than any physical. It does detect early, long range. The information is gathered from multi-sensors.
Now we know that despite their denials, Netanyahu and Israel were aware of the attack before it happened. The Times of Israel, Associated Press, and Al Jazeera are reporting that Egypt warned Israel of a major attack coming from Gaza 10 days before the events last weekend. But Israel officials ignored it. Is this another globalist psyop? According to a former Israeli intelligence agent, the Hamas attack does not make any sense and bears all the hallmarks of a planned operation.
A year ago, there was a military operation in Gaza to prepare for such events, and ongoingly there are trainings for these kind of scenarios. This raises serious questions for me anyway about Israeli intelligence. What happened? 2 years ago, there was a successful deployment of underground barriers with sensors to alert exactly on these kind of terrorist breaches. Israel has one of the most advanced and high-tech armies. How come there was zero response to the border and fence breaching? I cannot understand that. Personally, I served in the IDF 25 years ago in the intelligence forces. There's no way, in my view, that Israel did not know of what's coming. A cat moving alongside the fence is triggering all forces. So what happened to the strongest army in the world? How come border crossings were wide open? Something is very wrong here. Something is very strange. This chain of events is very unusual and not typical for the Israeli defense system. This surprise attack seems like a planned operation on all fronts. This is a failure to protect the people of Israel, for sure. Perhaps the biggest failure since the Yom Kippur War exactly 50 years ago, if not bigger. By the way, is it a coincidence it's exactly 50 years ago, almost on the day, The Yom Kippur War was on October 6, 1973. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would say that this feels like the work of the deep state. It feels like the people of Israel and the people of Palestine have been sold once again to the higher powers that be. At the same time, this is still very, very difficult to fathom.
She's not wrong. Something is very wrong here. We could start with Joe Biden, handmaiden of the elite, who recently sent billions of dollars to Iran, who directly fund Hamas. Just days ago, Biden sent an irregular payment of $75 million directly to Palestine. And then days later, after the Hamas attack, sent a whopping $8 billion to Israel in emergency military aid. What is Biden up to? And what is the game plan of the global elite? We will explain all that on the other side of this quick break. But first, an important message from our sponsor. MyPillow's range of products are all designed to give you the very best night's sleep of your life every damn night. No more waking up with a stiff neck. The MyPillow cooling technology will also help keep you cool the whole night through. It truly is the longest lasting and best pillow you'll ever own. And Mike Lindell is giving viewers of The People's Voice huge discounts on all of the awesome MyPillow products in his store. Visit mypillow.com/TPV and use promo code TPV at the checkout. Purchasing these American-made products helps support our show. And as a thank you, you'll also receive a free gift by using the promo code TPV. Visit mypillow.com/TPV now or call 1-800-923-1845 and use promo code TPV. That's 1-800-923-1845 and promo code TPV to get your free gift and to take advantage of the massive discount. In the great tradition of the globalist elite, the Biden regime is funding both sides of the war. The Rothschild funded both sides of the Napoleonic Wars, and this proved so profitable for them, they funded both sides of every war since, including the two world wars. The Bush family also have history in this regard, with Prescott Bush, grandfather of George W., funding both sides of the Second World War. The globalist elite just want to see the world burn and get rich while it happens. The useful idiots on mainstream media are determined to call the attacks Israel's 9/11, and they are closer to the truth than they realise. Just like the 9/11 attacks, the attack on Israel is not what it seems, and the official narratives surrounding both events can be dismissed out of hand as obvious propaganda. Most concerning of all, every prominent influencer, pundit and politician immediately condemned the attacks, despite their numerous oddities, without asking any questions about the numerous security failures of the Israeli military. Fact-checkers, employed by the globalist elite, including Bill Gates and George Soros, immediately declared that the attack was not an inside job. They still haven't explained why we are expected to believe anything they say, considering that they're untrained and unqualified, and write their fact checks from the comfort of their sofas in California, or in some cases while they are lying in bed smoking weed. CNN has already been caught spreading fake news about the attack, retreading old footage from 2021 to spread the globalist war agenda.
As I was scrolling on social media last night, something caught my attention, and it was the fact that media offices and media buildings were being targeted in Gaza. And you can clearly see October 7th, there's the date right there. Here's the video footage that came up about this entire media explosion. This looks, again, like a controlled demolition, which I talked about yesterday, if you want to go to my page and see that. But lucky for me, they left the media headline right here. So all I did to fact check this was put this headline into Google, okay? And here it is, how Israel bombed a Gaza media tower. Again, why are we targeting the media towers? That's the part that caught my attention to begin with. But then look over here at the date. The 15th of May of 2021. Why are we reusing footage from an old demolition and saying that it's from this war? Now, maybe this up here could explain something like that, but this is the tower from this news article. So
MSNBC wasted no time in reminding Americans of where they stand in the globalist pecking order. According to the elite, 20 Israeli lives are worth 1,000 American lives.
When 20 Israelis are killed or 20 hostages are captured, that's like 1,000 Americans. So if we get into 60 Israeli killed, we're looking at truly a 9/11 level event. And I think that number is going to be well above 60.
Just like the 9/11 attacks, the globalist elite are rubbing their hands together at the prospect of launching more forever wars in the Middle East, more devaluation of currencies, more neglect of the people in favour of war, death, and the globalist agenda. Violence begets more violence. The elites are determined to send humanity on a race to the bottom, while they get richer, tighten the noose around humanity's neck and enact their long-planned agenda for World War III and a one-world government. Rothschild admitted that his family created Israel as part of the Great Master Plan for World War III, and now their agenda is playing out before our very eyes. Here at The People's Voice, we are determined to continue exposing the crimes of the globalist elites, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, spread this video far and wide, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there.